ನಂದು ವೈಟ್ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ ತಾನೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫುಲ್ ಹಾಂ ಓಕೆ ನಂದು ವೈಟ್ ಶರ್ಟ್ ತಾನೆ ಫುಲ್ಲು
Good afternoon and welcome to the Garden City of Bangalore from wherever you are. We are here at the Padukone Dravid Center for Sports Excellence Phase 2 for the Indian Women's League 2 clash on match day 2 between Indian Arrows Women's Junior and Inter Kashi. Match number 4 of Group B. Both these sides with decent starts to the league seasons. Can they keep the momentum going? We will find out very shortly as the players make their way onto the pitch. We expect this to be a cracking game. Both the sides known for the attacking brand of football, who have got excellent structures backing them, and the players are all full of talent and enthusiasm to show to the world what they have got in store for us. Indian Arrows Women Juniors making a comeback to the Indian Women's League scene this season. An Inter-Kashi journey at this very tournament, hoping for promotion.
ಲೈವ್ ಯಾರ್ದು
At the first time of asking, they're clad in blue. The players getting to know each other better just before the game. It is a warm day in Bengaluru. Of course, clouds hovering around, testing conditions for the players to step up and perform. We often talk about the importance of a good start, and both these sides have registered victories in the first game.
ನೀವು ಕಟ್ಟರ
So
ಕಡೆ
the second
ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ
game is all about continuing that momentum. They've already gotten a good pedestal. Now is the time to step up and fly. Here is the Interkashi lineup for the team pick in blue. Indian Arrows Women's Junior, coached by Joachim Bundt Alexanderson, who has got all the experience that is needed in the game to guide these girls, to guide these youngsters to glory. Smile as wide as the Indian subcontinent on their faces. They are ready to put on a show now. Skipper Shweta making a way to the center circle, exchanging pleasantries with her opposite number.
ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ
As the referee explains the formalities before the game. Abhinav, the man in the middle with the whistle, Reddy Raju Naidu, Vishal Mahendrabhai Waja will assist him from the sidelines, and Divyesh Rajneesh Ule will be the fourth official. Ravi Shankar Jayaraman to oversee the proceedings as match. And myself, Pranav Venkatesh, bringing all the live action to you with a hint of a smile on my face.
ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಲಾ
This is how those women juniors line. One change in goal, only one change for them. Kushi comes in for Tampasana in goal. The defense stays same. Viksit Bara, Tamanna, and Elizabeth Lakra. Hence, Anushka Kumari, the player of the game from the previous game, Jula Nogmaithan, Anita Dangdang, and Abhishek in the midfield. Divyani Linda, Will Farani, the captain in the firing to get them some burnt Alexanderson
அந்த ஃபுட்பால்
from him.
பண்ணுறது
But it is the
பால் க்ளோஸ் ஒரு கிக் பண்ணுறது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஷாட் காமிங்க
change has come in goal instead of the lineup. Cannot find a spot
ಶಾಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ರಘು
in the lineup though.
ರಘು ರಘು
And now Intercat making a couple of hits.
ರಘು ಕಿಕ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಶಾಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಶಾಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ.
who scored this game. Anirban Ghosh makes one more change. Neha Deka starting
ಶಾಟ್
in
ಕಿಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಶಾಟ್.
goal. By Lindo. This is one equal all.
ತಗೋ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ?
Indian Arrows
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
in the classic colors of India, that is orange, and they get us underway. Attacking from left to right of your screen in all orange are Indian Arrows, and attacking from right to left of your screen in blue and white are Inter Kashi. There goes the early punt towards the box. Should be meet and drink for the goalkeeper. Neha Deka shows her involvement with the first claim. A southpaw dropping the ball and kicking it long with the left foot. First chance for Inter Kashi to make an impression. Well won by Henrietta Devi. She's the one to get for. Anushka's cross into the middle. Well cleared. Now driving it down the flank. Spread it across, trying to keep the move
ಬಾಲ್ ತಪ್ಪು.
going, but it breaks down. Just a little sparring session going on. Both teams, they're just not going at full speed right now. Are they? A good move broken down. Now Indian Arrows go down the other way. But look at the defensive structure of Inter Kashi. A solid four-player back line put under pressure. But Neha once again is alert. Good defensive discipline from Anirban Ghosh's players. And even the Indian Arrows, you have to say, they started with three defenders on the paper, but it looks like they are going with four at the back. There is Tamanna. It's a fine pass into the middle of the pitch, but her player can't help trap the ball.
ಇವೆ ಓಕೆ
Chance
ಮಾಮ.
into Kashi. Well passed around the back. Against the full back, she enters the box, but there is defensive cover. Bit of a scruffy start there, you have to say. Both sides just punting the ball forward and hoping for the best. It is a back pass. Remember, you cannot handle the back pass a bit under pressure. But Malika reacts well, recovers well in that situation. Julan, well, she was brilliant in the previous game, setting up the winning goal as Indian Arrows 1-2-1 against Pudua Unicorns. It is a good chance for Julan now to get a goal or an assist once again and prove her worth to the side. A bit overhit Appreciating the effort there. Rupa Srimunda giving a little thumbs up to her teammate to keep doing more of the same. Shanu passes it straight out of play. The initial passes have been missing the targets. They're still trying to get familiarized with the conditions.
ಒಳಗೆ
The ref
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಳಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ
spots
ಸರ್
an
ಒಳಗೆ
infringement. A free kick to Indian Arrows.
ಒಳಗೆ ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಅದ್ರ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್
Inter Kashi's phenomenal race can go to another level
ಅದ್ರ
if
ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ
both
ನೋಡಿ
their
ಲೆಫ್ಟ್
men's and women's team can win promotion this season.
ಹೌದು
Their
ಅದರೊಳಗೆ
men's team
ನಾಗತ್ತ
is
ಬೋರ್
on the
ಹಾಕಿತ್ತು
verge of doing it in I League. It is a
ಒಳಗೆ
chance for the
ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್
women's
ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ
team to repeat their similar feats. But first, they have to defend this set piece. Tamanna's free kick headed on, and the ball bouncing in the area. A chance to have a crack at goal. The player goes down. The referee is right there in the vicinity. Doesn't feel there was an infringement. Good awareness that Chingakam Alina comes out at the right moment, shields the ball from the attacker so that her keeper can collect it cleanly. Skip off into Kashi, Wani Kalucha. Well, that was iffy from both the sides. Still struggling to keep hold of the ball in the opening exchanges. Another half-hearted slide there. You can look at the physicality that Abhishta Basnet brings to this side. She is a tall player who can absolutely ram into defenders to pinch the ball away. A good run down the flank, but the attempt to find her will go to waste as Kushi clears it out of play. Well, the number 21, Kushi, she didn't start the first game. It was Thampasana in goal, but Joachim Bernd Alexanderson
ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾನೆ ಒಳಗೆ
was not happy with what has transpired in the first game, perhaps,
ಹೇಳಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್
changing his goalkeeper after just 90 minutes of football. Or perhaps we can see this as an attempt to test the bench strength before we consolidate into the further rounds. A raised hand, a handball,
ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಬಿಡಿ
meaning possession for Inter Kashi, courtesy of a free kick. I think we're due a period of a team holding onto the ball for long. The ball has been exchanged back and forth between both the sides.
ಕೌಂಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಫೋನ್ ಕೊಡಿ
These sides have quality. We have seen that in the first match day. Both these sides have goals. They have the quality to control the games. It is about realizing that and then playing fearless football. Just keeping the basics right. Passing to your teammates. Getting some decent first touches. Instead of punting it forward like that. Missed by the defender.
ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡಿ
Now Malika once again
ಸರಿ ಮೇಡಮ್
shows up there.
ಅದು ಎರಡು ಅದು ಮೂರೇ
She was
ತಗೊಂಡು
under pressure from Anita as well as Abhishta.
ಸರಿ ಕೊಡಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ
That is finally trapped by Norem Henarita Devi. She started the season quite brilliantly. A brace in the first game
ಹಲೋ
to score the second and third goal for Inter Kashi. She will be hungry for more goals, but that is a fine tackle coming in from midfield. A chance for Indian Arrows to ride down the right wing.
ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಏನು
Divyani pulls it back, and there goes the long ball towards the box. That was easily dealt with. I think the game plan is fairly simple. They have Abhishta who could win duels comfortably, so why not go long to her? That is the game plan in the earlier stages at least, but they must have a plan B if the plan A is not going accordingly. Some good determination from Vani Kalucha, the skipper. Seeks a right winger up against the fullback. An enticing battle. What does the linesman say? A goal kick at the end of it all. Wixit Bara Good defending that from the number 3. Well, they are playing the risky game and they're coming off with the rewards. Julan Nongmaitan once again, the danger maker, dropped in, played a lovely pass first time, but the side couldn't capitalize as we have a corner early on. Tamanna nicking the ball off. Now Remhenarita Devi's feet. Well, was there an offside in the build-up? Looks like there was. She brings the ball forward for a free kick. Wide on the right side. Divyani has been seeing a lot of the ball. Will they go for the same tactic once again? But no, this time it is a bit better. Trying to play short passes. Driving towards the byline. Staying more patient already. There goes the cross into the middle. She had to stand firm and she does. Vani Kalucha spins away from one challenge. Has a lot of green to run into. Will seek a winger, but that's some proactive defending. Very well read. And she has the power to go forward as well. This is really good football from both the sides. Well, this was what exactly I was speaking of when I was talking about these sides' capacities and quality. Wixit. One good cross came in. There was a fine clearance. And the player carried and played almost a line-breaking pass towards the right wing. But the defender was well alert. This time it's a rash back clearance. A couple of players missing it. Passionate going for it. You'd expect her to win the duels, and now a chance for a shot. But the ball snatched away by Inter Kashi's defense. They are living dangerously now, aren't they? I think when you have such an advantage in a matchup, you ought to be exploiting it time and time again. That was a rash clearance. The ball going sky high and dropping out, and you expect Abista Basnet to be there challenging the centre backs. Now this is a great opportunity for Wixit to ask some more questions and readiness of the Inter Kashi defense. A left footer, naturally you'd expect an in-swinging delivery. Keep an eye for an Olympic goal as well, because she can do that. But well, I think she'd be relieved that the referee blew his whistle. That was a terrible, terrible corner from Wixit. She is getting a take number 2. I don't think she'll say no to it. The first delivery was absolutely abysmal, and now this is much, much better. Going into the danger area, the goalkeeper misses a punch, and thankfully her defense recovered to concede one more corner. This was a decent corner kick coming in. A goal kick awarded. Well, I thought the last touch was of a defender. Perhaps a foul in the area, maybe. Shelia Devi lofting it forward. She wins the aerial once more. I think the midfield battle will certainly go to Inter Kashi, but the forward line of Indian Arrows do have a lot of threat. Here is Julan, but she ran into a roadblock. Skipper Wani plays a sensational pass forward. The goalkeeper must come out, and she does time her run to perfection. Kushi. You can see the threat of Inter Kashi. The skipper is the danger player. Whenever she has the ball, she's getting her head up, she's driving forward and immediately releasing those dangerous passes. Now, despite being under pressure, they do well to get out of the danger. Here is Anita. Sends the ball forward. Neha punches it out, but there is still a chance. Indian Arrows showing more intent. That was a decent cross as well. And once again, who is there? It is Abhishta Basnet. I think this will turn out to be a huge mismatch. If Abhishta can get her head on one of the deliveries, one of the numerous deliveries that Indian Arrows are providing for her, this time it crosses the right side of the corner flag. Just a throw in, perhaps. And Wixit, she can take this as well, not only corners. And now on the right foot, delivers across. Well headed away. Kept alive. That is a sensational effort. Just high off the target. Well, Neha Deka was worried. The absolute audacity to pull off a shot from that distance. Perhaps Neha had it covered thanks to a good jump. But that was a commendable effort from almost 40-45 yards out. Still doesn't come close to being a shot on target. We are yet to see a shot as well from Inter Kashi. Indian Arrows doing all the early attacking. One more goal kick for them. Well, you can see the press of Inter Kashi not as aggressive as it was early on. They're happy to drop towards that halfway line. They're happy to allow Indian Arrows defenders to get forward with the ball. Because they know that the Indian Arrows forwards possess a greater threat. So that is why they're happy to sit back and defend. Well, from a side that scored 5 goals in the previous game, this is quite a defensive approach. This is respecting the talent on board for Indian Arrows, perhaps. The call going in Inter Kashi's favor there. Malika involved in a lot of box defending alongside Roshinba and Alina. Sheila Devi shields the ball well, plays it into her own box. Well, that is the thumb rule while playing out from the back. You never play crossfield passes. Inter Kashi get away with one. What a tackle that is from Julan. Steps in positively, snatches the ball of Henarita. Well, that was heavy touch, just bobbled off her feet. Anita needed a better touch there, needed better control. Here is Henarita once again, the striker dropping into the middle of the pitch. This time gets the better of Julan. And now a shot from distance. Sheila Devi, perhaps not a best effort. I don't think she'll say that was a shot. She'll say that was a pun for some of her forwards to chase. That was wasted possession there. Now you can see the skipper, Wani, pressing the defense alone. It has to be a coordinated press. Anita with an excellent touch, snatching it away from the defense. She seeks support. On the left-hand side, it arrives. Crossed into the box, but there were no strikers to attack it. Indian Arrows getting the right ideas, but the execution hasn't been there yet. At this point, you have to ask, where was Abhishta? Because there were literally no orange shirts in the box. Inter Kashi were happy to let the cross run out of play under no pressure whatsoever. Well, there is the Swede, Joachim Berndt Alexandersson. Has got a lot of experience from European football. Spent a majority of his career at IF Elfsborg. Now here is his skipper. Lays it off towards the left flank. A chance to get the cross in, but that was a poor cut back. Straight to the defender. Abhishta turns well under pressure. And now the rash punt forward. The defender has to be the clear favorite. And she is. Chingakam Alina gets the ball away. Potentially a good attacking move for Inter Kashi. Wani finding the left winger, the cutback, going straight to the feet of a defender instead of a blue shirt. But they will take inspiration that they are able to get into the box of their opponents. They need more of that as we approach the end of the first quarter. Well, as it stands, you can pick no clear winner perhaps, but if the first goal was to come now, I'd put my money on Indian Arrows because they have showed that attacking threat. Now it's with Anjali Devi. Henarita slipping there. Punted towards the middle once again. Shelia Devi gets dispossessed. They are playing a risky game. A lack of communication between the two players. Gifting Indian Arrows the ball. Asking Anita to come across. But they will keep hold of the ball now. Tamanna. Well, that is a standard back four. Divyani playing as the right back instead of the right wing back as expected. Wani doing all the good work, but she cannot do it all alone there, can she? As the arrow spins the ball off her. Once again, long ball towards the middle. I think Inter Kashi are getting comfortable because they are being asked the same question multiple times. Once you keep doing the same thing, the defense will certainly develop an antidote. Whenever they see a lot of time to a midfield player in orange, they're just bracing themselves that a long ball is going to come their way and holding their composure. Now it's going to be a free kick for Inter Kashi. Scuffle between both the captains. Shweta Rani on Chandan Anjali Devi, that was, beg your pardon, not the skipper of Inter Kashi exactly. Another good chance to put the ball into the box. There goes the cross. The defender stands tall. They will have one more chance to attack now. With a throw in, of course. Wani winning the ball, keeping it alive for her side. But that will be an absolute gift to Kushi. Here is Tamanna. Divyani. Well, she is doing both the shifts. She is flying forward into attack from that fullback position while also comfortably coming back to defend. Some flexibility that from the number 2. Here is Wixit, the left back. Well, if you just happen to catch a glimpse of the disallowed corner kick from Wixit, she'd be asking you to forget that. And she'd be arguing that it didn't count because that was a terrible corner going straight out of play on the ground. Now that was overhit. Possession absolutely wasted there by Anushka Kumari. She could have just kept it simple, rolled it to the feet of a teammate, but ends up going for the spectacular. Here are the good short passes coming. The players finding the rhythm, not just pumping the ball up blindly. They're happy to play patiently and get the short passes. Another line breaker towards the left wing. There is Julan waiting in the middle, but Anita will fetch this. Divyani. Well, she's in her zone, entering the right half space, but does too much work trying to take on two fullbacks. Tamanna joining the attack. That is a good cross in once again. A chance for Inter Kashi to break. Lamu Thamang towards that right flank. Julan. Well, she has made a superb start of the game. A couple of quick one-touch passes to release her forwards early on. But after that, defensively, she has taken over, winning the ball quite a lot. Now it is a foot race between the fullback, Divyani, and Baya, the fullback, the left back of Inter Kashi, making a dash forward. Well, this is the first time we have seen her come out to attack. Positive signs for Inter Kashi. They cannot stay in the same defensive shell forever, can they? Cutting towards the middle. Seeking Elizabeth. The centre back carrying the ball forward. So refreshing to see. The defenders not afraid of driving with the ball into spaces. That is a coming together. Looks like there was adverse effect on Anita as the number 15 stays down, clutching onto a knee. The referee found no wrongdoing there, but the matter certainly needs attention as Anita Dangdang is down in pain. I think that was a fair coming together. Both the players had a fair claim of the ball, went with full force. It was an unfortunate incident on Anita, and by the looks of it, she will be all right to carry on. But the referee perhaps asking her to be taken to the sideline so he can get on with the play again. Discussion going on between the engine room of Inter Kashi on how to get involved better in the game. Alicia Lingdo, Nimla Mutamang in deep conversations. Because the midfield of Inter Kashi has been too brittle right now in this game. Indian Arrows are finding very little resistance trying to get forward. The referee will drop the ball to Niha. Malika. The intention is to go long. But once again, that was a smart turn from the number 22. Going for goal. Beaten away by Niha. Abista Basnet showing her threat. That is a decent chance. Perhaps the best of the game of the evening so far. Abista coming closest to the scoring. Once again, ball pinched away, but Inter Kashi will go long. Put in an area of doubt. There were doubts lingering around in the mind of the defender and the goalkeeper. But Kushi does well. Just a minute ago, that was such a good play from Abista, wasn't it? She took the ball, spun away from a marker, had some green grass to run into. She knows she has the ability to find the top corner from that distance. Niha did well to punch the ball away towards her defensive line. Malika immediately for taking an extra touch that gave a good chance to Rupashri to snatch the ball from her. Luckily, she wins a throw-in on that occasion. Well, possession changing hands quickly as the referee halts the play for a short cooling break. Has been a good start of the game from Indian Arrows particularly. They look the brightest of two sides. Inter Kashi, for a side that has attacked, for a side that has taken a 4-goal lead before the first half ended in the previous game, to be playing this naive from the back, to offer next to no attacking threat today is a bit shocking. Anirban Ghosh is doing the talking there. And Joachim Alexanderson as well. It's good to see all the coaching staff being involved. Just giving those additional instructions. The small tweaks that can make all the difference to the scoreline now. Because if you are in that blue corner of Inter Kashi, you will be asking yourself, how long can we keep defending? because every time Indian arrows are coming forward, they look like scoring. Kushi, the goalkeeper of Indian arrows, hasn't been involved at all, except for the odd claim she has had to make while dashing forward. It's going to be a throw in for the arrows. Divyani delivered a couple of good crosses into the center, but yet to find a proper target. They're focusing on this right hand side, but once again, another long pump. Missed clearance there, perhaps. Here is Julan. She has the chance to shoot. Good footwork there, but an absolutely necessary tackle from Malika. She timed it to perfection just when Julan was about to pull the trigger on a shot. Malika just dives in from that side and puts in a good tackle. Past the half an hour mark. Where are we getting that opener from? 7 goals between each other in their opening games. Yet to find one in this. Now here is a chance. A heavy touch to keep the ball alive. Gives the defender an extra moment to clear it out. Rupashri Munda perhaps should have delivered the first time cross. I expected her to hit it on her right foot on the up. She was too conservative. Now, here is a chance. Here is a cross coming in. Missed by everyone. But two attackers. Shweta Rani, the skipper, thought she had a chance. But Abhishta missed it. The defender missed it. And the attacker once again missed it. Well, those are the type of crosses you'd love to see. Catching everyone by surprise. Now that is some confident ball play from Chinga Kamalina. Wani plays it down the right wing. That is a decent pass now. Chance to beat the fullback perhaps. She will win a corner. Encouraging signs for Inter Kashi. They have been under pressure all game long. Perhaps missing Anchal, who scored the opener of the first game, to an injury. It's a huge hit for them. But right now, they will have a chance to attack. Here is Malika with the set piece. The left back on a left foot. Put some enough height on it. Headed towards her own goal by Julan. Very lucky that she can't hurt her goalkeeper there. Once again, play towards the middle. Can Inter Kashi use this rare break to build some momentum, to just keep hold of the ball, to push higher up, because they have defended really deep all game long. Now on the flank, Wixit trying to keep it in, and she gets the call in her favor there. Vani Kalucha, the skipper, doing all the hard work on her own. But once again, sloppy in possession. Inter Kashi keep giving the ball away, but on this occasion, Indian Arrows just couldn't take advantage of it. Abhishta just way too eager to get forward. Puts the ball straight out of play, asking too much of her teammate. Play towards the middle. The defense of Indian Arrows will step up proactively. A chance to shoot for Anita Dangdang, but that was a poor effort. The technique was all wrong. She pushed the ball forward, tried to put her laces through it. She got into a good form, but the connection was at the wrong timing as the ball was completely wide of the mark. Now, Alina tried to play a superb long ball forward, but Abhishta very casually blocking it out. It tells you the kind of a threat she possesses when you're trying to play out from the back as well. Such an intimidating player to play against. Good touch there. Spreading to Anita, who tries to give it back to Anushka Kumari once again, but fails to do so. Here is Divyani. They're trying to work out the successful combinations on that right-hand side, giving and going. Divyani made a good run, but Anita couldn't find her with a reverse pass. That could have been a great 1-2. Malika coming across to sweep the situation there. I think Rupashri has to do better than that on that right wing. Anita is dropping wide. There is a lot of support coming in from Divyani as well. But the winger, she has to either cut in or stay completely wide and take the fullbacks out. Vani, she will wait for support because there are no positive runs coming in from Inter Kashi. And Shelia Devi gives the ball away cheaply yet again. I think the attitude, they have been completely defensive today. As soon as Henarita Devi got on the ball and passed it to Vani, the skipper got her head up, but to her surprise, there were no runners absolutely on that right wing. Now here is a chance. Rupashri delivers the cross. Well cleared by Roshin Bachanu. Well, that was what I wanted to see from Rupashri Munda. Being the right winger, you need to stretch the defense, especially when you know that an overlap or underlap is coming all the time. You have to make use of that extra person there to take on the fullback, deliver those crosses into the middle. Well, this time it's the skipper herself, Shweta Rani, coming across to take this corner. Good power on it as well. Misses everyone. A chance to keep it alive, but Wixit Bara. That was a loose shot on her left foot. It was a stronger left foot, mind you, but she couldn't put it remotely close on corner. On target, beg your pardon. Kushi. To Divyani, who's been superb in this game. Look at her ability there, taking on players, running past them with ease. The number 2. She has the ball hooked to her feet and is simply running rings on the left hand side of Inter Kashi. They have to fix up. They have huge issues to solve now. Anita gives it to Julan, who gets into the box once again. But Malika just give her an easy pass, but still the cross goes into the middle. Cleared a chance for Vani to get on the counter. They're still looking for options. Well cut out in the middle by Shweta Rani, the skipper. I think the other forwards of Inter Kashi have been too relaxed. They're just not showing the enough urgency to get on the front foot. There is one more chance to tag. Let us see how this goes. Vani once again spinning away. She gets on the ball. Somehow manages to keep hold of it. Well, she's putting herself under unnecessary pressure there, leading to a loss of possession. Abista, with her long straights, fails to keep the ball there. And now a chance, but there is no one on that right wing to chase the shadows. Inter Kashi cannot keep hold of the ball, but finally Shelia Devi tries to play it to Vani. Does win a throw in this time. She's been all over the field. She's dropping deep. She's leading the press. She's playing as the striker. alongside Henarita Devi. She got on the score sheet in the previous game in the 90th minute. She's desperate to give her side some hope this time. Getting it away from Abhishta. Here is Shelia. What can she come up with? That is some lovely footwork. A very good spin, but at the end of it is a rash shot that leads to a loss in possession. Well, I think that is where the players have to be selfless. Did it strike the referee? Looks like yes, he's awarding a drop ball to Inter Kashi. She had the ball to herself, made such a good roulette spin, got away from defense, and her next initiative was to get a shot that wastes possession. Well, at least this time it takes a deflection and will go to Kushi. The decision making in the final third has to be better than that for Inter Kashi. The team from Uttar Pradesh struggling for some sort of flow in this game. Every time they're coming ahead, they're going a couple of steps back. Now, the ball up in the air for a long time. The goalkeeper makes a mess of it, but eventually Neha Deka makes sure that she pouches the ball there. Well, we have seen her kicking. She can kick the ball long, but unfortunately, no one to attack it for her. Out of nowhere, Inter Kashi get forward. The flag will certainly go up if the attacker is to get on the end of it. They know it, don't they? Such a faultless half from beg your pardon, Indian Arrows defensively. But offensively, they're just missing that final touch, that final pass to unlock the defense. Kushi luring Wani to come in all the way before casually claiming it. Abhishta once again showing a good skill to keep the ball under pressure. Tamanna to Divyani. Watch out before she emerges on one of her mazy runs through the defense. This time it is a pass on the ground that is well cut out. Anita can fetch it for her, but Julian losing the possession there. Here is Wani on the ball. She hits it towards the right hand side. This time the winger is in a better place. Faced up against four defenders from a tight angle. Managed just to squeeze a shot. It was on target and Kushi finally gets to make a save. But that was a very, very tight shot there from a tight angle, wasn't it? Inter Kashi, they are only having the direct route to the goal. Once Wani gets it, she gets her head up, scans the area, fires a pass to the winger, and there was the first shot on target, just like that. Perhaps if they can get Wani in some dangerous positions, the captain will find other passing options as well. They have to provide runners. It will be on the mind of Anirban Ghosh as we inch closer towards the halftime whistle. Well, Joachim Bernd Alexanderson wouldn't be too happy, I believe, because he knows his side is better than this. The fact that they haven't scored yet will be disappointing to him, given that they have held a lion's share of possession and created a lot of chances through crosses. Trying to play it slow. It does work well, but Alina goes long. Well, missed by everyone. The goalkeeper spills it as well. Was that the luck Inter Kashi needed? Well, that was a Rice boot. Very dangerous there from Henarita. She knows it. She wants to fly away from the scene before the referee catches her guilty. And thankfully, he has no intention of providing a card yet. Into the final minute of first half action. Can we get a go-ahead goal? A good chance for Indian Arrows as they win a corner after the defender skies her clearance. Remember, we are playing at the home of Roots Football Club as well, the host of Group B in Bangalore. The other clubs in the group: Puduvai Unicorns, Kasabarwani Soccer Club, and Roots themselves. Two clubs in this group calling Bangalore their home, the other three coming from Puducherry, from Odisha and Uttar Pradesh. And now, the number 6's delivery, Anushka Kumari. Thought she could go for goal. I think that was the side netting she found there. Well, the idea was right, but you rarely see Olympic goals in football. Because right now, all the teams are happily putting two defenders on the goal line along with a goalkeeper. So you need something out of this world to find a direct goal from a corner. Trying to spin away from defenders. One defender proves too much for her. As we have enter the added time. Sheila Devi keeping it under pressure. And now a slip there. Heart in her mouth movement for Alina. Abhishta was so close to pinching it off her. Well, some mistakes here and there leading to an open end to the first half. Can Inter Kashi capitalize? Looks like they will end the half with some better possession. Throw in near the halfway line. Play towards the middle. Wani is the intended target, but the skipper can only do so much, can she? This is where the drop-off begins. This is where Inter Kashi are reluctant to press. They are giving Indian Arrows all the time in the world to build out from the back slowly without any pressure. Divyani. Sheila Devi gets the better of her this time. Intelligent play from the experienced player. Wani getting away from one and two players. Well, I think she injured herself in the process. Was that the halftime whistle as well? Well, she cleverly got away from one defender. And as her second touch was heavy, the defender rushed in to make a clearance. It hit the skipper of Inter Kashi directly in her ribs. Well, that was also the end of the first half. Goalless, no goals to report, but plenty of action going on. Indian Arrows Women Junior doing a lot of questions, asking a lot of questions to the Inter Kashi defense as they look the better side. But the women from Uttar Pradesh have held on, have hung on somehow, and are looking to get a goal that could stun the Indian Arrows. We will find out very shortly what is in store for us in the second half. An early cross coming in from Indian Arrows. And Abhishta Basnet absolutely peppering the defense with a physicality. That was a good corner coming in as well. Once again, Abhishta forcing chances through her sheer presence. But the box defending has been admirable from Inter Kashi. The question is how long can they get it going for? Anushka Kumari tried her luck from distance. That could have been a cracker of a goal. Once again, Abhishek testing the palms of Neha. This time, Anushka's cross, evading everyone in the box, catching everyone by surprise. That was the lone corner for Inter Kashi. Julan, shockingly, almost scored an own goal there. A good chance opened up for Anita, but her technique was all wrong. The only shot on target, the only save that Kushi had to make for Inter Kashi. She almost made a fumble that could have led to something worse for her side. Anushka trying to go for the Olympic goal, but could only find the outside of the side netting. 53% of possession to Indian Arrows. Absolutely peppering the goal. 8. Only one on target. In Takashi, well, the effort from that right hand side doesn't count as a shot. It goes as a cross. 4 shots, none on target. Just a save each from the goalkeepers. Despite a couple of fouls here and there, the referee keeping all the cards to himself. As we have a spicy second half loading to see which side goes ahead in the table tonight. Welcome back to the second half action. A short 10-minute break. A lot of tactics discussed, a lot of what ifs and how abouts were asked of the players to make a subtle difference to the game that will get them all 3 points. Well, a draw is not the end of the world as we are just in the second match day. But a lot will certainly ride on this result because both these sides are expected to be comfortably among the group's best. If one can get a result here, it will help them in a long way to qualify for the final round. Well, through this second half, I will be taking you through the format of this tournament, the teams, and the qualification scenarios. We will find out. But before that, both the sides getting up for a positive second half. Inter Kashi need to show everyone that they can play because in the first half it was a very naive performance where they have been completely defensive. Indian Arrows, on the other hand, you can see there Abhishta Basnet donning the number 22 in orange has been one of the bright spots, but she will be keen to find a finish that gives her side the edge going into this game. A substitution there, a halftime substitution for Inter Kashi. Expected when things don't go your way, you either tweak the system or tweak the personnel. Muskan coming on before the start of the second half. Well, everything is in line. The referee eagerly awaiting the team in blue's presence. The skip of Inter Kashi gets us underway. Attacking from left to right of your screen in blue and white are the ladies from Uttar Pradesh. And attacking from right to left of your screen in all orange are Indian Arrows. Abhishta gets a foot on it, trying to slide her teammate in. Here is Wani Muskan entering the fray as a substitute in the second half. Well, remember, she had a good cameo in the first game as well. So it is imperative for her to put her foot down and assert her dominance on that right wing. Anushka gives it away straight to the opposition, Shaila Devi. Now that is the kind of intent we would want to see. Inter Kashi pressing high up for the first time in this game. But Indian Arrows have some answers to it. Here is Shaila Devi. Wins the ball for her side. This is much, much better than what they have offered in the entire first half. Pressing the opposition higher up. Winning the ball. And there comes the mistake from Shweta Rani, the skipper of Indian Arrows, putting the ball out of play. This is what happens when you show a little bit of intent. When you put yourself on the front foot, the opponent will ask themselves, wow, they've come out to play. We have to raise our level. And that may certainly lead to some good chances or mistakes either way. Anushka Kumari, headed clear by Malika. That is a long chase and Tamanna in a better starting position will win it. On the far side, a duel going on between both the sides. The ball will fall to Indian Arrows. Here is Julan in the middle of the pitch. Under pressure, loses possession, gets dispossessed. There is a good run coming from Muskan on the right hand side. Can she keep the ball in? But she will lose the chase. It was a fairly simple ball to be played. Muskan was running at the top of her speed, but her midfield fails to find her as they put the ball out of play, asking too much of Muskan. Now one more mistake from Abhishta this time. Wani capitalizes on it. Well, this is some start from Inter Kashi. You can clearly hear Joachim Bent Alexanderson barking instructions to his side to wake up and not commit any silly mistakes. Well, the Swede has been a key figure in Indian football with a lot of experience in Swedish football as a player and as a coach. He has come to the subcontinent coaching the Indian side, the under 17 and under 20 women's sides, especially. He is the current head coach. He also was the interim head coach of the Indian senior women's team, but now he's also overseeing the Indian Arrows. Imagine the amount of knowledge, the amount of technical detailing he could impart to each and every player, and how grateful these players could be to learn from such an experienced person. International exposure, learning from international players, and going abroad will certainly help these players develop a better career and also help the national side. That is some good passing between the lines. Anushka finds Abhishta. Can she keep the ball in? Well, even with her long strides, she cannot go there. Well, I think those are the kind of disadvantages that come with height. You cannot be running at full tilt and keeping your balance if you are 6 foot and above. Anushka showing good energy once again, gets the shot. But Neha Deka had her eyes fixed on the ball as it was coming down from the sky and makes a good catch. Well, the warmth has certainly gone down. It has become completely cloudy and windy. And it looks like the heavens could open up any minute in the garden city of Bengaluru. Well, if there is rain, let me tell you this, the players will be facing not only the opposition but also the nature's elements. There will be a lot of slips, a lot of puddles forming on the pitch as well. Vixit playing it short. Well read there by Alisha Lingdo. Just as Sweta Rani was about to pounce, the midfielder puts it out of play. A good open start to the contest in the second half. I think we'd be very disappointed if we don't see a goal today. Both these sides, with all those firepower in their arsenal, will be underwhelming. Did she come from an offside position? It looks like she didn't. Anushka with a rash punt forward, undermining Anita's determination to pinch the ball away. It goes straight out of play. Elizabeth putting her teammate under pressure, but Julian has a calm head on her shoulder. Does very well to find Shweta, the skipper. Vixit to Elizabeth. Well brought down by Anita, but she cannot keep the possession. Julian, lovely pass between the lines. Anushka. Now there is Divyani. Finds the reverse pass to Anushka, but that was sold short. Henarita Devi was interested, but the three-woman defense completely shutting her off as the goalkeeper makes the claim. Vixit running forward, asking too much of Shweta. The skipper could only block it as the ball goes out for a goal kick. Good ideas from either side. They're using the wingers better. The fullback charging forward towards the half spaces between the centre back and fullback, and then bringing the winger in. Tamanna standing firm and clearing the ball out. Kushi there making her first appearance after starting the previous game on the bench. Abhishta thought she did something clever by spinning without the ball, but that comes away from her favor. Shaila Devi Beg your pardon, that was Sheila Devi. Very good footwork from her. Got away from two defenders. Well, the shot kind of lacked power as well, but you could understand it. The urge to hit it from 35 yards. You need to put a lot of power on it to even test the goalkeeper. Well, at this point, you have to ask, why aren't the centre forwards making some runs and giving her an option to pass it? Instead of having a shot from 35 yards out, having a centre forward to pass to is a great option there. Abhishta keeps hold of the ball. Here is Shweta. Ball pinched away well. Julan's tackle cannot be pounced on by her teammates. Well, I thought the right back would keep it in, but they were happy to just let the ball trickle out of play. The technical level of this game suddenly has risen enough. We can see the difference. Players from both the sides doing the right things. Just giving a good account of how good they can be. That was another shot as she was going off balance. Anita Dangdang there. A back pass. She cannot touch it with a hand. But Kushi showing very good calmness and composure. Well, I was worried that she was called for in such a situation because that is not an ideal pass to give to your goalkeeper when she's being closed down. Both the players going for the same clearance. Inter Kashi will recycle the ball. Play towards the right wing. Here is a chance for Muskan to run at Wixit. Great defending from Wixit, and there's a lot of shirt pulling going on. The substitute winger gives away a foul. Well, I think that was the exact reason Anirban Ghosh subbed her on to be an outlet on that right hand side to take Wixit out of the game with the quick runs. Now this is a great ball. Look at the pace. Look at the brilliant covering defending from Chinga Kamalina. She has come in like a cheetah. As soon as Abhishta was breaking into a stride, the number 32 already covered all the ground and snatched the ball away from her. Very good defending. Trying to play through the lines. The skipper Wani drops deep and gets the ball for her. Short passing is the way to go. They are playing it the right way now. Inter Kashi getting a hang of it in the second half. But the threat of Indian arrows wouldn't go away. Here is Julan, a lucky break coming away. That was a poor pass. Overhits it for no reason. Could have just fired a pass into Rupashri. But very luckily, they have a chance to go on and attack with this throw-in. Henarita, brace in the previous game, but barely having a touch in the attacking third. Wixit finds Shweta Rani with a good pass down the line. Here is Abhishta dragging out wide, and once again, well, this is some charge from Alina. I think they're doing well. Abhishta is dropping wide. The centre back is tracking her. There goes the hopeful cross, punched away tamely by Niha. Inter Kashi will keep it alive through Julan, who spins it past the marker brilliantly, but she cannot fetch it. Henarita is all alone. There is no support. It is 1 versus 5. How far can she go? I think she'll count this as a success. She manages to win a corner in a 1 versus 5 situation. She just hit the ball and prayed there for something. Got her a and a corner there. That was the cross. Anything could have happened as Niha dropped it, but right now Inter Kashi on the stroke of the hour mark have a great chance to take the lead. Will be a testament to their improvement in the second half. Taken shortly, right out of practice ground perhaps. There goes the cross in. Headed clear once, but it is not completely away. Still in the box of Inter Kashi. Beg your pardon, of Indian Arrows. They make a mistake. Another mistake from the striker. Well, Alina just couldn't catch the ball at all. She kicks air. First, it was the defender who made the mistake, and then it was the striker. Well, a couple of silly movements there, denying us of a potential goal scoring opportunity. Malika putting it forward. Tamanna doing it well to snatch the ball, and then Julian using her strength to pinch it away from Sheila Devi. Divyani received a call, knew that pressure was coming in from behind, turns well. This is some good football being played now. Both sets of players showing how good they are under pressure. And that is another good clearance from Alina. She has been impressive in this game, especially in the second half. Those two dashes against Abishta, and now this box defending. Once again, yet another back pass, forcing Kushi into something that she's not comfortable with. Indian Arrows too slowly trotting into that area of living dangerously. Julian losing the ball yet again. Here is skipper Wani. That gets a pocket picked by Anushka. I think that was lazy. She just took too much time to find a pass. Just getting her head up, looking for Muskan to make the run. This allowed Anushka a brief window to pinch the ball away. Well, this is certainly anyone's game now. In the first half, if you could call it, you could put your money on Indian Arrows perhaps. But right now, Inter Kashi's improvement is there to be seen. You cannot keep them out of this clash just yet. Julan back heels it to Anushka. And that is a rash effort. Not much could describe it. That was absolutely rash there. And now we have the super sub that scored the winner in the previous game. Valaina coming on for Abishta. Abishta Basnet, who scored in the previous game, who scored the opener in the previous game. She was looking to do quite some impact in this game as well, but it wasn't clicking for her, especially in the second half. As Alina got her better, Abishta substituted, replaced by Valaina, who scored in the previous game as well. She's slotting right in on that left flank, slash the center forward role because they are swapping around very comfortably. When the ball gets stuck in, there is the confirmation. Abishta Basnet replaced by Valaina Jada Fernandez, the number 12, the match winner in the previous game for Indian Arrows. Inter Kashi win possession. Pumping it forward. That was a hopeful ball from Nimla Muthamang. The other change for Inter Kashi, as Amrita Sharma and Anchal were forced to miss out. Sheila Devi couldn't find a teammate yet again. Her passing has been hit and miss. Quite a lot of misplaced passes. But here is the first chance for Valaina. The ball gets stuck between her feet. And it was taken unfairly from her. The referee does well to notice the infringement. Positioned at the right place. A game of this quality certainly deserves a goal from somewhere. I mean, you could argue both sides don't deserve to lose, but it will be a shame if we do not get to see a goal from these sides. It will be rewarding to the defenses, yes, but a goalless draw will certainly hamper a lot of enthusiasm from the fans of both these sides. Wixit will find a way to the goal through power. The goalkeeper, well, could you believe it? Wixit Bara, as we were just speaking of how a goalless draw would bring shame to these players, Wixit Bara scores an absolute volley from 45 yards out. She put her laces through it. The centre back perhaps will thank Neha Deka, the goalkeeper of Inter Kashi. Well, I believe that could be an easy save. She just made sure that she put it on target from 45 yards out. The goalkeeper giving her more than a helping hand by pushing it into her own net. Neha Deka could not believe what she has done there as Indian Arrows take a deserving lead in this game. Well, you can see the first action from Viksit Bara running off to a coach to celebrate. That is the effect of Joachim Burnt Alexanderson on this side. And in the meanwhile, we have an injury there as the player goes down. Viksit Bara, the goal scorer, her left foot so powerful. But perhaps Neha Deka couldn't even make the simple save because of the power on it. Well, Kushi will be wondering whether she has to face a free kick of that same situation. Currently looking for her first clean sheet. And this is the first time Inter Kashi have conceded in this tournament. They ran riot in the previous game against Casa Barwani. But after 150 minutes of football, their resistance is broken. It looked like things got better for them in the second half as they started attacking better. But they have to chase the game now. They no more have the luxury or the option of sitting back and defending and settling for a point. Well, the long gaze on Neha Deka. Certainly with a mistake, it will be running on her mind hundreds of times in every second. But she has to get it out of her system because the game is not done yet. There are 25 minutes and there is still a lot to be played for. Indian arrows will keep coming at her. She cannot just let this go. Here is a chance for the skipper to shoot. Muskan will recollect it. Wani again. Now Shilya Devi. Improved from Inter Kashi. Shilya going for goal from distance. This time Kushi makes the save with absolute confidence. That was a good effort, but once again, an effort from that sort of distance, you need something special to beat the goalkeeper. Why not drive towards the goal, take a couple of steps forward, look for a killer pass, or then shoot, because shooting from that range will be just hitting and hoping. Alisha Lingdo defending the channel on that occasion against Shweta Rani. That was a poor header from Julan Nongmaitem, player of the match in the previous game. She was given the creative freedom. But instead, this evening, she showcases how much of a well-rounded player she is by doing a defensive duty to perfection as well. Wani laying it back. There is the skipper. Very impressive for a side. Julan getting away from the press. An attempt to find Walaina. That is a rash tackle. Both the players caught there. Referee immediately calling for attention. Mallika locked in battle. Both the players going for the ball. It is a very unfortunate situation there. The first priority should always be on the players' well-being. The physios come rushing out to treat them. Was there a clash of the heads there? Concussion will be on the minds of everyone involved.
ಅಲ್ವಾ ಶೀಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ 25 44 ಅದೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್
Thumbs up from the physio. A very quick thumbs up. Looks like the player is all right.
ನಾನು ಕಾಲ್ ಕಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೀನಿ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇಡಮ್
That is an encouraging sign there. A very good sign.
ಸರಿ ಆಯ್ತು
Rupa Srimunda able to get up.
ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ
And Mallika is slowly trying to get on her feet as well.
69 ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ
They're doing the job to perfection, just treating them for concussion.
ಯಾವುದು
There is the bench for Indian Arrows.
ಬೇಡ ಅದು ಒಂದೇ ಸಿಗ್ತಾನೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಸೇರಿ
There are good options. Gurnaz is the only one to miss out on the bench.
ಹಂಗಾದ್ರೆ 25 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ
Look at the youngsters. They are eager to get a chance to prove themselves. We'll be hoping that the coach would put them on the pitch at some point. It looks like Mallika's evening might be over. She took a heavy blow to the face.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ
There is Joachim.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ
Rupashri standing strong from the tackle. But it might be curtains for Mallika. They will play with 10. They will play a player down for some time before the coach can get a substitution on the field. They have a numerical disadvantage now. Can Indian Arrows use this small period of play to score a security goal and finish off the contest beyond doubt? Wani in the middle. Muskan. I think the first shot led her down. She should have just took it in a stride and went on the chance down the wing. Wani, the flag does stay down. She goes for the finish. Shifts it, hits the outside of the upper right. Well, that was the chance. That goes begging. The skipper does brilliant to trap the ball and then chip the goalkeeper. Kushi was beaten all hands up. But as they say, the post, being the goalkeeper's best friend, saves her on this occasion. Wani Kalucha, so close to scoring the equalizer for Inter Kashi out of nowhere. Now Muskan sends the ball in the middle, but Wani cannot put her header on the target. Well, whatever I told about Inter Kashi and the numerical disadvantage, you could hardly believe that they're playing with 10 now, aren't they? That could have been some equalizer from the skipper Wani. Now Walaina traps the ball well. She has space on the right side. Options in the middle. Goes for the cross. That was just rising above the crossbar. I think she perhaps had an eye on a goal as well. Rupa Srimunda was making that run in the middle. In an exciting phase of the game. Of the phase of Divyani. Elizabeth couldn't get the ball away, but luckily they will win a throw in. Well, there is the substitution that was long overdue. Sultana replacing the injured Mallika, and now we have the balance on the field. It is 11 versus 11 yet again. Can Inter Kashi force a turnaround in this clash? Well received between the lines. The defender does miss it. Here is a chance for Henarita going forward. That is a brilliant save from Kushi. Well, the goalkeeper this time proves her worth. Makes herself big. Then uses her arms and legs to make the perfect save. Mistakes creeping into the Indian Arrows backline now. As we approach the final quarter. Going for an adventurous shot from outside. Shweta Rani finds out that she needs better balance. While making the connection, she was off balance on that occasion there. Well, what a save that was from Kushi. Her clean sheet coming under immense threat in the past 5 minutes, especially as her right hand post came to her rescue once, and now she herself took matters into her own hands to make the save. Another substitution. Sheila Devi withdrawn as they look to go for the kill now. Inter Kashi. Muriel Adam onto the field. Wani, she has been very impressive throughout the game. Tries to slip Henrietta in. Well read by Elizabeth Lagra. Loktongbam Sheila Devi, she has had her moments in the game but failed to rubber stamp them. Gives a chance for Muriel Adam. Come on and make an instant impact for Anirban Ghosh. Once again, a hopeful ball. Well, my only question on the chance that Wani had was she onside? And now Shweta Rani gets it into the middle. The defender misses the cross. A fantastic volley. Just over the crossbar. Well, from this angle, it felt like the ball ended up in the back of the net. That was a great connection from Anita Dangdang. Shweta Rani picking her teammate in the middle. What a fantastic volley that was. The ball just sailed over the crossbar. We are in for a dramatic finale. Neha Deka, you could see her visible disappointment heading into the final 15 minutes. She knows that her mistake cost a side. She stood alone there as her teammates and even her opponents received the final word of wisdom from the coaches. Well, before we go into the exciting finale, let me tell you about this tournament. We are in the second season of Indian Women's League, the second division of the Indian Women's League, India's premier women's football competition. We have 15 teams competing in 3 groups of 5 teams each. Each team gets to play the other 4 teams in a single round robin format. The top 2 advance to the final round. So in the final round, we have 6 teams taking on each other in another single leg round robin format, meaning each side gets 4 games in the group stage, and if they qualify, 5 in the final stage. The top 2 in the final round will progress to the Indian Women's League, the top tier of women's football in India. And of course, the winner gets crowned as the champions of Indian Women's League 2 as well. What a great tournament this is for all the women across India to showcase their talent on the second biggest stage for women's football. And in our Group B, that is being hosted by Roots in Bangalore. We have the host Roots alongside the southern side, Puduva Unicorns from Puducherry. That is a union territory. And Indian Arrows, who call Bangalore their home. And a couple of teams, Khasa Barwani Soccer Club from Odisha and Inter Kashi from Uttar Pradesh, from the city of Varanasi. Quite a lot of diversity in this group. And it is a debut season for most of the sides in this tournament. Given the tournament itself is new, so many teams getting an exciting chance to play on the national level. Inter Kashi, the club itself founded very recently, making rapid strides in Indian football. The men's team hopeful of grabbing a promotion to the Indian Super League as we head into the final match day of I-League this Saturday, that is tomorrow. and their women's division, making a strong start to life in the Indian Women's League 2 as well. What a season it will be for them if both their teams make it to the top tiers. That was a good clearance there from Tamanna. Saw the ball and then puts it out of threat. Well, these sides in the previous game making a winning start. Inter Kashi putting 5 past Kasabarwani there. Henarita was on target twice. The skipper Wani scored a late goal. Anchal, who scored in the second minute, was injured and is out of the matchday squad for today. And Alisha Lingdo, who is having a very quiet game today, was on the score sheet as well. Looks like they are heading to their first defeat in this tournament in just their second game. They need something special in the next 10 minutes. Indian Arrows have done well to come out as the winners against Puduwai Unicorns. Abista opened the scoring early on for them. And then there was an equalizer from their opposition. But the number 12 on the field now as a substitute, Valena Fernandez, already scored as a substitute in the previous game as well. It was an edgy 2-1 win. But they will be happy if they can continue the momentum with this 1-0 and register the first clean sheet of the tournament. Well, Indian Arrows competed in this tournament previously. They have competed in the 21-22 season of the Indian Women's League. That was the top flight. That was the only flight for women's football back then. They played 11 games, won 6, drew 1 and lost 4 games as they finished 6th in the table with 19 points. They're back after a couple of seasons, this time as Indian Arrows Women Juniors in the 24-25 season. A clean slate for them, bringing in an experienced coach from Sweden who has been on the Indian football stage for quite some time, for a year or so. It'll be an excellent start to them. Can they close out the game positively? Well cleared there by Elizabeth. Muskan. This time the flag goes up against her. She was in an offside position while coming back. She has made a good impact, you have to say. Muskan on the right side, straying wide, dragging the fullback as well, but not the required impact in terms of score sheet, as they sleepwalk their way to the first defeat of the campaign, heading into the final 9 minutes of the clash. Indian Arrows know that job is not done yet. They will need a goal for security. Pumped forward by Elizabeth. Locked in a battle. Sultana, who just came on for Malika, puts it forward. That is Sultana. Gets away from one tackle. Has some time to pick her next pass. Something building on that left wing. Does well to beat Divyani. Gets across her defender. Now the cut back into the middle. A chance to go for goal. What a save that is. A fantastic save from Kushi yet again. Well, it was the skipper Vani Kalucha. She had a lot of time, set herself up, but I think she'll be disappointed that she hit straight at the goalkeeper. A yard to the right or left, and it was 1-1. Kushi, for the second time, making a fantastic save, and this time punches the corner out. That was very awkward. Still a chance for Vani to get something, but she fails to put it on target. Well, this is far from over. That was a bad punch. She missed it altogether. Luckily, her defense cleared it. And Vani on the rebound. Couldn't catch it sweetly. I think the ball ballooned off her ankle. Great leap to win the ball there. Indian Arrows under a bit of pressure. This is where they need to show some character and defend for their lives. A late equalizer would dent their morale a fair bit going into the next game. And the coach has identified something that is hindering his team. He wants to rectify it with a substitution. Rupashri Munda on the right hand side hasn't had the best of the games. Was involved in that horrific clash. Maybe that has taken a toll on her. She will be replaced by Thania. Anushka spun into the middle. There is Valaina. Well, both the players having a claim there, but the referee gives the ruling in favor of Inter Kashi. That is a goal kick. Well, how disappointed be Vani Kalucha if the game ends 1-0 to Indian Arrows. She had a fantastic shot that bet the goalkeeper, but the post stood in her way. And second time, she had a great opportunity, but shot it straight at Kushi. And then Kushi herself making another great save from Henarita, who has a brace to her from the first game. A raft of substitutions taking place for either side. Put towards the middle. Neha this time makes no mistakes. A simple pickup and pumped down the ground. Vixit puts it out for a throw in. No time to waste. Inter Kashi on the feet. Hit long towards the middle. An aerial duel contested by both the players. Anyone could come out on top. Well, it is Inter Kashi's ball. They still haven't given up the hope of getting something from this game. Crossed into the center once again. The referee sees no wrongdoing there. Lets the play flow. Now or never for Inter Kashi. They are entering that region pretty quickly. Missed the clearance. A chance now for the blue shirts to attack. They will have a free kick to pose a different threat. Indian Arrows getting boxed into that little corner. A failure to clear the ball. Unnecessary pressure compounding on them. This is a huge responsibility now. She just has to put a good cross in. If she cannot find the teammate, at least create some chaos in the box. Just put it in a region where the goalkeeper has to come out and defend. Well, would she be thinking of going for the glorious for a goal? Now, a lot of height on it. Hits the crossbar. Skims the crossbar. Well, you just couldn't write it. It perhaps is that kind of day for Inter Kashi. I think Kushi was happy that the ball was going out, but in the last minute, it dipped enough to just take a slight deflection of the crossbar on its way out. Inter Kashi in the second half have been much better, but to their dismay, they might leave the ground with nothing to show for. 10 shots for them, 5 on target. A couple of crucial saves from Kushi and the post coming to the raid. 13 shots for Indian Arrows. 2 of them on target, and the last one on target was kind of pushed into the net by Neha Deka. Here is another free kick. Headed clear. They have a chance to reboot now. Anywhere will do for Indian Arrows. I don't think they'll be happy with the second half performance. They were better in the first half, but second half, when Inter Kashi figured out how to play with short passes and how to play better, they have been on the back foot quite a lot. Yanis Anushka, that was another absolutely random pass to nowhere. She was under no pressure. She could have picked the spot. She could have simply played a back pass, but she decides to pump it towards the right hand side. Final 90 seconds of normal time. Here is the skipper. Has given her everything on the pitch this evening. She will be the happiest person on the pitch if their side could get something out of it now. Once again, the ball might just die down before it goes out of play. And it just does. That is in an awkward position. And Inter Kashi somehow managed to keep the ball in. A little chaotic there, allowing them to get the ball, and Anushka has a pop at goal. Well, you couldn't blame her because the entire defense was caught napping. They were all over the place. So why not test Neha once more? He was already done a mistake. A long chase there. The defender gets there first. Pump towards the center. Divyani cannot keep hold of the ball. The goalkeeper comes out and makes the right call. Well, that was excellent. Muriel Adam. It looks like she bet the goalkeeper, but Kushi showed great deceleration as Muriel kept the ball on the line before picking it up calmly. 5 minutes of added time, 300 seconds for Inter Kashi to salvage something from this game. The impressive Chinga Kamalina once again making life difficult for forwards. The skipper plays Palina in, pull towards the edge of the box. Inter Kashi cannot break. Good dash from Divyani. The number 2 has been a little bit subdued in the second half. We have seen her venture into attack a lot of times in the first, but it simply hasn't been the same in the second half. She gets dispossessed, but the call will come in her way. Perhaps a free kick. Legs locked there. Anjali Devi disappointed with herself for giving away a cheap free kick there. Can they kill off the contest now? That was a poor delivery, you have to say. Well, the first rule of any set piece is to clear the first player standing in your way. Can they break fastly? Time running out for them. Pump through the middle. There is no one to attack. Another disappointing attack ends for Inter Kashi, but fortunately they can recycle, but the centre back can only kick it long to Kushi, who happily will waste the time, whatever she's allowed. Well, you could see the referee already signaling her to get on and play on with it. What a touch that is from Valena. Shweta Rani has some room to run into, but that was absolutely abysmal from the skipper. Well, she is blaming the contact she received after she let the ball go, but that was a poor effort. I think next game, Valena will be claiming a starting spot. She has shown some good glimpses. Once again, Kushi in the danger zone. Well, if you thought she was out of action in the first half, the second half has been a whole different story altogether. The goalkeeper in the thick of action, Post coming to her aid, making saves, and then coming out to make these kind of dangerous claims. Final couple of minutes. Here she is once again. Well. She has put her afterburners on. The goalkeeper running every 30 seconds forward, making a dangerous claim. Inter Kashi unable to find a clear chance, and Indian Arrows struggling to kill the game off. This is where the game management comes into play, perhaps. Run for the corner flag. Neha just palms it away, but they cannot keep the ball. Anushka Kumari still full of energy. Vani thought she robbed the ball, but she will be disappointed. Well, the golden sunshine as the sun is about to set. It was cloudy all day, but beyond the cloud cover is the majestic golden sunlight on the turf, on that side of the turf there. As the referee is about to bring the curtains on this game. Indian Arrows, perhaps not their most fluent performance, but they will be happy that they got the result done. They were made to grind for it, especially with their late onslaught from Inter Kashi, courtesy of the captain. That's a poor giveaway from Viksit. Will she be made to pay? But luckily, her defense is in a good position to recover. Long ball forward yet again. Vani is not the one to give up. The skipper of Inter Kashi trying till the final second, till the whistle goes off. Julan with a good dash it looked like, but the referee saw something that was different. Perhaps the contact was a tad late there. And now Inter Kashi have a free kick from a decent position in the Antar. She will leave it with Alina. The skipper trusts her. I think she has to go for goal. Chingaka Malina has had one of the best games for a defender. To top it off, what better way than a 96th minute equalizer. A 3-defender wall. Going up and down all the time. Can Alina be the protagonist in this story? She will go for goal for sure, but that was curling away and Kushi makes the claim. And that could probably be it. Well, I thought she would go for goal, but that was an attempt to find her teammates. That does not go according to the plan for Inter Kashi, and Indian Arrows would be celebrating a second straight win. A hard-earned, a grinding performance, which will see them take the top spot after 2 match days for them. Viksit Bara's free kick from 40 yards out. She gave it the laces, but it had a huge helping hand from Neha Deka, the goalkeeper of Inter Kashi, on its way into the back of the net. Was the only difference between these two sides. Inter Kashi had a late onslaught. Vani Kalucha, the skipper, hit the bar, hit the post, and then forged a great save from Kushi, the goalkeeper of Indian Arrows. She was absolutely crucial late on in the game, making save after save and claim after claim to protect her side's clean sheet and take them onto 6 points after 2 games. The coach will be happy, certainly. Joachim Bernd Alexanderson, perhaps not with how fluent they have been, but perhaps with how good they have defended when needed. Because you can always tweak the attack if it's not going your way, but defense is something that comes out of a very good structure. And his side have proved it tonight that they have got what it takes to make it to the next level. Halfway through the tournament, halfway through the group stage, Indian Arrows sit in a comfortable position. With a goal difference of +2, they're on top of the table. And Inter Kashi crashed to a first defeat in just their second game ever in this tournament. Both these sides will be back in action yet again against the same club. Indian Arrows take on Roots on the 7th of this month, whereas Inter Kashi enjoy an off day. And then on the 9th of this month, Inter Kashi take on Roots as well, as Indian Arrows enjoy an off day then. Well, it is finely balanced. It was a good start to the game. Indian Arrows doing all they could to score the opener. They went long, they went short, they created opportunities from open play and set pieces, but it simply wasn't happening for them. Goalkeeper Neha Deka, she looked unsure at times, yes, but she did make the necessary saves. That was one of the best attempts from Anushka Kumari coming in. And then Kushi was pretty much a spectator in the first half. In the second half, it was an entirely different story. Julan's header coming to being the closest chance that Inter Kashi have come in the first half. But in the second half, it was a different story, wasn't it? Across there, perhaps. I think the winger will claim it. It was a shot. But as per the stats, it's only across and not on target. In the second half, Inter Kashi came out a different outfit. That was a pop. Neha, beg your pardon, made a good save, but she was running out of steam. That one mistake cost her side. Anita's attempt, she was off balance there. That was a pop from Vixit. Took everyone by surprise. Giving it a lot of power. The goalkeeper, I think she got it all wrong. She tried to punch it perhaps instead of catching it cleanly. And then after that, Inter Kashi, that was one of the best chances. What a chip that was as well from Vani Kalucha. Hitting the post. Unfortunately, that was Shweta Rani's brilliant delivery. Anita's volley just skimming over the crossbar. And this was yet another great save. Vani this time a bit straight at the goalkeeper. But she had to stand strong and then punch it well. She was saved there on that occasion as the ball slipped. And a lot of fantastic late claims to make sure that her side got the clean sheet and got the result she wanted. Last piece of action. The free kick was curling away. Perhaps she was better off putting it on target. But what a tight game this was. 51-49. Indian Arrows edged it on possession. 15 shots, just a couple on target. But Inter Kashi in the second half, 13 shots, 5 on target, have really turned up the heat. Forcing 5 good saves from the goalkeeper Kushi of Indian Arrows. Neha Deka, she was really required to make just another save that could have given a whole new narrative to this game. 4 fouls each from both sides, but no cards displayed. The referee being extremely lenient. And as such, there weren't huge fouls as well. But that brings the coverage to an end. Indian Arrows with a slender goal advantage, taking all 3 points against Inter Kashi. As the full-time whistle goes, a fantastic result for them. 2 games, 2 wins. They will be hoping for another win that could pretty much guarantee their qualification to the final round. Inter Kashi, meanwhile, get a day off as the next match day on 7C, Roots taking on Indian Arrows and Kasabarwani locking horns with Puduwai Unicorns. The side from Varanasi will relax. They will know they have to improve a lot to get the goals back and turn up the heat. This is where our coverage of the Indian Women's League 2 concludes for the day. We will be back with more action coming live your way. Till then, this is your host.